Hi everyone! Sorry I haven't posted a video in a while. Like I said, my weekend was kind of hectic, but it wound up going really well. I'm gonna post an update on that later. But this video is going to be on transitioning in college because a lot of people come out around that time and it's a very stressful time as it is, and transitioning can either make it that much worse or that much better. So, yeah. Um, the first tip I will give is to make a plan. It's extremely important to do that. College is hectic enough as it is, and you really, it will really help you a lot if you have a plan. You can choose to just go out full time instantly, which gives you more freedom, and it's better if you don't care about being stealth. And it's better if you're in an area where there's no discrimination. The more common way is you can come out to people slowly, and that's better, especially if you're in a less accepting place or if you have less accepting parents. But it means you have to sort of go in more of an order of things. So, first up with coming out slowly, I would recommend is finding a therapist. That is likely what you want to do first. A lot of endocrinologists are going to ask for a therapist now. A lot of doctors are going to ask for a therapist now. If you want to try and use the bathroom, depending on where you live, there's a 50-50 shot you're going to need to know. So that's definitely the most important thing. Um, and then seconds would probably be to start looking into endocrinologists, voice trainers, surgeons, and other professionals in the area. Um, my nurse was nice enough to actually collect a list and collaborate it and send it to me. And so I was lucky in the sense of I had it all sorted out already for me. But it's definitely a good idea to start looking into that because that'll help you start HRT and it'll make your life a lot easier later on. Um, Another thing you can do with before you come out even is to start growing your hair out. Um, it's something that people generally won't ask questions about, and once you're out, you'll be happy that you did it. Um, Another thing you can do once you're in college, and you should be able to do this even if you don't have supportive parents, is you can start collecting clothing. Um, you can get it piece by piece if you need to at Target or Walmart or wherever, or if you want to go to an actual upper end store, congrats for you. But if you're in college, you likely don't have the money. So if you're uncomfortable, you can just get it piece by piece. If the cashier asks, just say it's for your sister or your girlfriend or something along those lines, and just start collecting that way. Um, then next up might actually be more important than the collecting clothes is telling people close to you. The reason I say that is because you're going to want to tell your roommate if they're supportive. Um, not even if you're not their friends, it's a good idea to tell them if they're supportive of the community because they'll ideally be more respectful of it and you're going to see them on a daily basis. Plus, once you start collecting things, it's going to be harder to hide things. Um, and if they're comfortable with it, great. If not, it might not be the worst idea to move into a new area, or a new building. Like on my campus, everyone here is basically entirely free and kind, but there is still LGBT specific housing. And so you can always move in there. You can do whatever makes you comfortable. But it's a good idea to get that going. In addition to your roommate, you should just tell all of your close friends here, assuming all of your close friends here that you think are going to be supportive. Um, and then you can slowly come out to everyone else. As you go through the process, you'll be more comfortable and you'll have firmer ground to stand on. Other extremely helpful tips that they're not necessary, but I extremely recommend them, is to find an LGBTQA plus club. Almost all campuses have them. New Paltz, I think, has 3. We have at least Pride, we have Transaction, and I think we have a third. But yeah, most campuses will have one, and that's a really good support group you can go to. Even if somehow all of the friends you manage to make on campus aren't supportive, that gives you a place to go and talk to people, and that's really helpful. Another thing, once you are out, you're going to need to tell your professors, obviously. I kind of wound up coming out middle of the semester, or not, it was weird. And so with my current professors, they just sort of found out as it went along. But it's best to just send them an email saying, hey, look, I know that the attendance list says that this is my name and that I'm a guy or I'm a girl, but that's not the case. I would really prefer to be called this, and these are my pronouns. As professors, they should generally be very respectful of that. Another thing that is helpful is being able to manage your time. I say that because transitioning takes up a lot more time than you'd think. It sounds like a lot of, oh, I just have to spend time finding these things and sorting things out. But it winds up being really time consuming in the end. All of the research you have to do, all of the professionals you have to find, and you're going to be doing a lot of venting to friends. And so managing your time is something you're going to need to learn to do. It's something you should be doing in college in general, because that's just an extremely important part of college. You will need it to get through all of your classes once you're a sophomore, junior, senior. Freshman year generally isn't too bad, but yeah. And then one thing on the therapist, don't always assume your university therapist will see you. I would like to say that that's the case, but I tried to go to the university therapist, and after doing a consultation, they flat out told me they wouldn't see me. Not because I'm trans, just because they had too many clients, which I find to be garbage because I'm paying for it anyway, but whatever. Another thing that, this goes for transitioning in general. If you're in college, if you're not in college, just find a stress outlet. Stress outlets can be anything from sitting down and watching Netflix to running a mile to, for me, I do calligraphy and art. But you do need some sort of stress outlet to just throw everything aside for the moment and relax. It will really help you so much, and you're going to need breathing space, especially once you start HRT. And so finding a stress outlet early on is very important. Another thing, which this won't apply to everyone, but if you're spiritual, try and find an accepting place of worship before you come out. You can do it once you're out. I'm currently in the process of doing that. But it's obviously going to be easier if you do it before you come out. There's usually at least one supportive place in town, depending on where you are. If you're in the deep south, you might not have the best luck. But yeah. And if you don't have money saved up, try and set up a secure way of getting money. That's a very important thing. I know it's difficult as a student, but oftentimes you can get on-campus jobs. The easiest one, in my opinion, is you can be a night desk worker, in which basically you just sit in the front lobbies of your dorm from like 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. and you just sign people in as they come in, so that way you keep track of who's there. You can do Netflix or homework or whatever the hell you want while you're doing it, and you still get paid. It's consistent. You can still get work done. The only real downside to it is it will take away from your sleep time, and you'll need to work your schedule around that. Um, and finally, lastly, but probably most importantly, is give yourself time to be sad, stressed, or just give yourself time to scream. Um, whether it be into a pillow or whether it be with a group of friends. Because there's going to be times where you're going to run into difficulties, you're going to run into discrimination, and the fact of the matter is there's just nothing you can do about it. You just have to let time go by, let it heal, and just give yourself time to be sad. It's really, really helpful. It's really necessary, and I find it to be a very important part of transitioning. I ran into a situation recently that was less than helpful, and I ran into a lot of discrimination recently, and it made me extremely depressed, but I just called my friend, told her that I really needed her to come over right now, and we just watched Netflix for like 3 hours. We just talked, watched Netflix, and everything felt better. Everything was just pushed aside and relaxed. So, yeah, those are my tips for coming out in college. If you have any extra ideas, you can leave them in the comments below. Um, as always, my Tumblr's in the comments below, and if you have any questions, feel free to message me or just comment. So, yeah, see you later.